Hello, and thank you for joining us for our 2021 Tech Week. In this presentation, we're going to take a look at what is new with Google. If you would like a copy of this presentation, you may get it at bit.ly/new Google LP. It is case sensitive, so make sure you capitalize anything that needs to be, the N, the G, the L, and the P. My name is Heather White. I am an instructional technology facilitator for Livingston Parish Schools. I'm an ISTE certified educator, a Google for Education certified trainer and educator. I'm also an ISTE member, a Wakeland ambassador, a Seesaw ambassador, and a couple of other things as well. So what is new with Google? Now, you may have noticed some changes over the last year, and you're going to notice some more coming up in the upcoming school year. I want to go through some of them with you. There are more than I'm going to show you where you can go and find these. So if you're interested, you can kind of take a look at what you're going to get coming your way. We are no longer called G Suite for Education. Google did go in and change it to Google Workspace for Education. It's just a name change. Your functionality remains the same. Keep in mind, just like before, there were paid versions of the G Suite for Education. So there are some paid versions for Google Workspace for Education. Looking at which updates are coming your way, you'll need to make sure that you look for the one that we are, and that is the Google Workspace for Education Fundamentals. Some of the icons have changed. They still take you to the same place. You've got your mail, your calendar, Drive, Docs, and Meet. They sort of went through with a cohesive look to those specific apps, but they still do the same thing. And again, which version do we have? We have the Google Workspace for Education Fundamentals. So again, when you're looking at these updates, make sure that you are looking at the ones that the fundamentals are going to be getting. So your rollout timeline, this means, when are we going to see these updates? You may read that an update is coming out and it may have already come out to some users, but it may not appear in your user interface just yet. They roll out their updates through different domains. So some people are on fast rollout, some people are on a slow rollout. Just know that they are going to come your way. Usually within a month or so, when they first start rolling them out, they will show up in all domains. And if you're curious as to what's coming out, this little icon right here will take you to a calendar that will show you all of the releases that Google has coming up. And you can actually click on it and see the different details of that. So last Thursday, customize the color of your folders and shortcuts to folders in Google Drive. You've always been able to customize the color of your folders, but the shortcut ones, so now you can color code everything and make it as pretty and as happy as you want. Coming up this week, insert smart chips for files and meetings and create checklists in Google Docs. And if you need more details, all you have to do is click right here to view the details of this launcher update, and it will take you to the blog where you can read even more about it. It'll let you know who is impacted. Those would be end users. We are end users. We are not admins. Why is this important? It's going to explain to you what it is. Usually has some sort of animated GIF that shows you how that is working. It's for inserting links for documents, mentioning people, so on and so forth. So it'll give you the different details of what they're doing and how to get started and when you are going to see it. So again, rapid release domains, gradual rollout up to 15 days for future visibility starting here. And scheduled release domains, gradual rollout starting on June 7th. So hopefully 2 weeks past June 7th, everybody should be able to see this update. Few that I think will be beneficial for us as educators. And then again, I will show you where you can find more, but let's go ahead and take a look at the ones that are coming or have already rolled out to your Google Classroom. You should have seen this, but when you create an assignment, you now have the option of rich text formatting. So rich text formatting gives you the ability to customize, add bold, the italics, the underline. You can do bullets, numbered lists, and things of that nature, which really does help for making it a little bit easier formatting, and your students and parents can actually kind of understand it a little bit better, and you don't have to do quite as much work to make it look the way that you want it to look. So you have this in your announcements, you have this in your assignments. So go ahead, check it out, take a look, play around with it if you have not with the rich text formatting. Originality reports have been in the classroom. You may not have known what they are, but they just went through and pushed an update that allows them to be run into 15 different languages. Now, what this does is it will go through an essay that your student has turned in and check it for plagiarism. So it's basically taking a look at how original that student's work is. There's a great how to use video here by Eric Kurtz from the Control-Alt-Achieve blog that I highly suggest you go and take a look at. Because we are a fundamental domain, we only get 5 reports per Google Classroom. So make sure that you use your 5 reports throughout the year for those things that you consider to be most important. So again, to kind of take a look at how that works, you can turn it on right here when you create your assignment. Check this box for check plagiarism, and it will go through and it will check all of it will flag areas that they deem to have been completely copied. And this will also be visible to students so that they can go in and actually make the changes that are necessary to not have them flagged for plagiarism. So it really is a good way to help them see, hey, you can't just copy and paste, and also to teach them how to make sure that they are citing correctly and paraphrasing properly. This one is a feature that I'm super excited for, and they say that it's going to roll out by the beginning of the next school year, meaning this fall. Now, a lot of times when they say that, we think, oh boy, August, but it seems to be more of an end of August, beginning of September rollout. Google is based out in California, and they do start a little bit later than we do, but just know that this is coming your way this school year. This is student engagement tracking. So now there's going to be a new tab at the top of the teacher Google Classroom, right past your grades. You can click on that, and right past your grades, you can click on that, and what you can do is you can see the last time a student was logged in, the last submission a student made, and the last comment they made. You can filter that out based off of dates. You can refresh it. That way you can see who is actually doing their work, but it also gives you an idea of, oh, okay, this student did turn in this assignment. I do need to go take a look at that, so on and so forth. So again, student engagement tracking, something I'm super excited to use, and I think you will be as well. Let's take a look at updates that have come through for Google Docs. Now, Google Docs has had a way for you to add in citations. They're making it even more easy for you to do so. You can actually do a search as far as where your citation came from. It could have been, book sections, websites, TV series, newspaper articles, films, so on and so forth. And they have upgraded to an automatic citation creator for you. So you're not having to go and, use one online like Citation Machine. You can actually create it right there within your Google document. You can click and pick your format, your source type in the information, and it will automatically create that citation for you and add it to the student's citation page. So this is sort of a nice little nifty thing here. They make sure they're getting their citations done correctly, and instead of having to copy and paste from other servers where they're actually doing it, they can do it directly within their document. Autocorrect and Smart Compose has been available in English for a very long time, but Google has now upgraded it so that you can do these in French, Portuguese, German, and Spanish as well. So for our English language learners, this is a big deal, to be able to use as a spell check. And not only our English language learners, but we're looking at our foreign language learners. So if they're having to compose something in a language that they are learning, then they have the ability to go in and actually do their spell check and make sure that they're getting everything done correctly as well. You can create and import documents that contain images now above or behind text in Google Docs. Now, this has been something that has been available to us in Word for a very long time, but Google has not had it. Now this option is here. Previously, these three right here were our only options when inserting an image, and it made it very difficult to put text over images. You just couldn't do it. So anytime you wanted to go and convert something from a Word doc to a Google Doc or back and forth, the formatting would get messed up. With this new update, we can put an image behind our text like you see here, or we could even overlay one on top of our text as you see here. So again, new formatting options in the image category that's just going to make it a little bit easier to work with. You can now create and work with documents that contain multiple page orientations. And what does that mean? That means that you can make something portrait in a doc. You can make the next page landscape. You could do another landscape and then go back to a portrait. So you're not stuck to one orientation when working within Google Docs. So this is going to make it easy when you need to go ahead and expand out something such as a table for viewability reasons, or maybe you have graphics that you need to put on a landscape page. So you can do it one of two ways. You can highlight the information that you want to change the orientation for, go ahead, give it a right click, and notice you have the option to change to landscape. You can also do this in the menu where you go to your page setup. And I can show you right here, as well as how to change the color of the background of your page. Notice right here where it says portrait or landscape, this is in your page menu where you can go and change your page setup. But this is also where you can go in and change the color of your pages. So if you have some students who need certain colors for readability reasons, instead of having to use a filter over a plain white page, you can actually go in and change that page color for them in digital form. Google Forms, y'all buckle your chin strap for this one. This is something that we have been begging for, and it is coming our way again this upcoming school year. Google Forms is now going to save draft progress. No longer when a student closes out of a form on accident or on purpose will they lose their progress. As long as they are logged on a form, will be saved for up to 30 days or until the student actually submits that form. That way, if they don't finish something, they don't have to submit it. They can come back the next day and continue working on it at that point. So this is huge for those that need that extended time, for those that are checking out and maybe need to finish it when they come back the next day. They don't have to start over from scratch. It will automatically do this for you. Notice up here, it'll show you that it is draft saved. So make sure, again, students are logged in when they go to take their form, and then that way their work will never get lost. Google Jamboard is something that has really come on the scene in this past year with lots of people using it. If you've not used Google Jamboard, I suggest you take a good look at it. It is like Google Slides with less options, and you don't have that editing pane on the left-hand side. So what it is a collaborative whiteboard space. You can do a lot with it. It can be independent. It could be lots of people working on it. But again, it just lets you do some basic things without having tons of options in that editing pane on the left-hand side. Now, prior to this update, you were not able to see version histories. So if something happened, if someone did something inappropriate, or for whatever reason that you need to see when edits were made or who made those edits, you couldn't do that. You now can do so by clicking on those three dots next to the share button and then clicking on version history. The nice thing about this is if you need to restore to a previous version, you can do so by clicking on the version that you want to restore to. CS first for all my teachers out there who have ever thought of adding in some coding into their classrooms or have been using this. You know that in order to use Google CS first, you had to go in and create accounts for all of your students. Well, this can be time consuming. They now have enabled where you can go and do sync with your Google Classroom roster. This is awesome because then logins are not lost, passwords are not lost, and PII is not violated. Students will only have to click on login with their Google, and once you sync it up, very easy for them to go in and work through some of the units that they have in there to learn a little bit more about coding. So if you've not taken a look at Google CS first, go ahead, do so, and try to find some ways to incorporate that into your school year. And the last thing I'm going to cover is just some bonuses in the mobile applications. Google does have a mobile app that goes along with every single app that they have online. So Google Classroom, Sites, Jamboard, Docs, Slides, all of those things have applications. And a lot of times they've got some features in there that you do not have on the desktop app. But coming for teachers is a better grading system with improved workflows. Again, this is only going to roll out to Android users first. It will roll out to iOS after the fact. But notice that you have some easier ways of viewing student work, putting specific comments on certain spots, navigating in between the different students who have turned in their things, adding comments, giving grades. So if you are an Android user, you get to use it first. iOS, keep your eye out for it. It is going to come your way this school year. On the student side, same thing, rolling out to Android first. For anyone that is using their mobile device to upload their work, it's going to be a lot easier to do so. A lot of complaints have been when teachers have been having to take a look at photo submissions and it's just not been clear. Well, what they're doing is they're going to go ahead and update that camera to become more of a scanner. So it's going to scan the page. It will go ahead and orient it so that it is actually taking up the full screen. And then what you can do is also attach multiple pages into one PDF. So it'll take the picture, it will crop out all of the white space, and then what it will do is allow you to add multiple pages so that you are not scrolling through 10 pictures to grade 1 assignment. Everything will be in one PDF document for you. In case you did not know, options for you to click on and mark up using a variety of different tools. This is just a few of them. If you click here, it will take you to the Google Help support area where it shows you exactly how you can use all of these tools to mark up on student work or for students to mark up on the things that you have attached for them. You can add notes, you can erase, you can move things around. So lots of things that you can do. If you've never played around with it, take a look at it. And last but not least, one of my most favorite things is the student selector. So if you have Google Classroom installed on your phone, it is there on Android and iOS. You can use this as a random student selector. So what you do is you open your classroom, and then on the People tab, there is this little icon in the upper right-hand corner that looks like 4 squares. You click on that, and what it is a random student selector. So as the student comes up, you can mark, whether they're absent or not, and they won't be picked again. You can call on someone later. You can reset your session, and it will also show you who's been picked and who has not been picked. And so that way, you don't have to use any other additional apps. It's right there. It pulls from your role, and it doesn't take any extra time you having to create anything else. If you're interested in anything that I have used to put this presentation together, here are a bunch of links to the different places that I find my information. This one right here is a link to the What's New in Google for Education, and it's going to go through and show you even more than you probably need to know. It's going to go through some of the updates that are going to some of the paid versions as well. This right here, Eric Kurtz's blog, Control-Alt-Achieve, is something that I highly suggest you check out. He does lots of webinars and shares tons of information information on the updates, how to use them, and also gives you creative ideas of ways to use the Google tools in your classroom. This right here is the blog that goes through all of the different updates that are coming out, what they look like, how to use them, who's impacted. And the nice thing about this is if you can search the blog, but also you can filter by product. So if you're curious as to what's coming out for any of these right here, all you have to do, click on it and you can go to it and see what the latest update is going to be. So the last time something came out for Google Slides was on Thursday, May 25th. Master View in Google Slides has been renamed to Theme Builder. So if you go in and you're looking at the master, meaning you want to go in and change up the way that the theme or the template that you're using looks, don't look for master, look for Theme Builder. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this presentation and learn and see what's coming up to you. As always, please never hesitate to reach out to me, heather.white@lpsb.org, or you can find me on Twitter at TallTechieTeach. Don't forget to fill out the survey and attendance link. This will enter you, if you teach in our parish, to win some awesome door prizes. And again, if you want a presentation copy, go ahead and type in bit.ly/new Google LP. I hope you enjoy your summer and you come back feeling refreshed and ready to take on some of these new Google updates.